welcome back to Kerbal Space Program 1.10. We are back to basic. Last time I landed on the moon was version 0. I think it was 0.19. Now this is where the problem comes, because I have assumed we're going to have enough fuel to do this. Just get a little bit of control and then we're just going to ramp it up. We really need to kill off our horizontal velocity, but what we ideally want to do is kill off horizontal and vertical at the same time. We're going to go down an angle and basically kill off both at the last second. We've got enough fuel not to worry about that. Get rid of the stage. Wonderful. We can see the remnants there. That looks like a slope. And just as we get to the ground, and we're down. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, that is stunning. Jeb, you're facing the wrong way. That's better, isn't it? Yeah. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program 1.10, back to basics. So we're just actually on the screen we ended the last episode with, and Jeb's landed. We're going to recover the vessel, and let's have a look at what science we've got. 248 science. We've got 200 science from that, and we weren't even actually getting as much science as we could have. Last time we landed on the moon. This time we're going to go for a bit of a journey. We're going to have a look around Minmus. We're going to try and do the same thing, but with Minmus. We're going to take the Val 6. We're going to crew it up with Jebediah, and let's get going. So here we are on the launch pad. We are going to just launch pretty much straight away, get ourselves into orbit of Kerbin, and then we're going to look at getting to Minmus. So off we go. I'll probably speed you up this bit. We're going to increase the throttle, put the SAS on, and Jeb, let's go. Right, so we are just coasting up to our apoaps now. We're going to have a look on the map. We've done a lot of burning on our gravity turn there, so there's not going to be much in the way of delta V needed to take us into orbit. Not much at all, in fact. Put that in the right place for once. Let's have a look about there. So a little bit of delta V required. That's a little bit too much. We're going to put ourselves on the prograde marker. Actually, we're not. We've got about 500 delta V to take up in a short while. So I'm going to speed you up. And we're just ready for our burn, and here we go. So we're just burning now to circularize. Hopefully we'll be at our designated orbit very soon. Pulling it down, we're about to finish up with these, so they're not going to be hanging around in orbit because they will be suborbital. And we're back down to our main engine on our second stage. So this is a gimbaling swivel engine, gives us a lot of control. And we're just going to stay on our marker there, and hopefully going to get a nice little sort of circular orbit. So we've got 107 by 102. That's lovely. Didn't need that extra delta V. Right, so we are in orbit around Kerbin. We want to go to Minmus. We set it as a target. Minmus is on an inclined plane compared to us. If we actually have a look, you can see if we line up the Mun and we spin round, Minmus goes up and down. At these 2 points here, we have the ascending node and the descending node. Minmus will go above and below the plane of Kerbin. So we can either do our transfer out to there and do a little bit of a plane change, or we can do what we're actually going to do, which is the least efficient way of doing this. But we're going to come along to here, we're going to put a maneuver node in, and we are going to try and zero out our inclination. So we're going to move our inclination around Kerbin to be similar to that of Minmus. And then what we can do after that is we can just do what we did with the Mun. Now, if you were tight on delta V, what you'd actually do is you'd probably boost up. You'd probably aim to do your inclination change out here somewhere. It is cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. This is going to be 200. It's going to take a big chunk of our fuel reserves to do that. Okay, but we have a lot. We actually have 2,000. We've got 4,500. We could actually probably send this to Juno or something like this. But we're going to just focus on this for now. So we're going to do that burn. We're going to get there, and let's get going. So we're going to just time warp towards. Time warp towards. We're going to get into this position. It's giving us some time to just reposition ourselves. So we really want to basically try and just get onto that node. We don't need to put any, prograde, retrograde, sort of normal, anti-normal sort of stuff going on. We are just changing inclination. We're just going to basically be burning basically up. So if I put Kerbin in the position here, we're going to be basically burning upwards, changing the angle, the inclination of our orbit. Okay? And we can do that anywhere around here, really. It does not have to be specifically at that point, but it's going to be more accurate if we do. Minmus is quite a small body, so we're going to do this as close to perfect as possible, just to make that intercept a little easier. Minmus is a lot less mass than the Mun. So we do that, get it going. Like it, and I'm going to cut it off in a minute. Got a bit of a drift, chase the node, and there we go. Right, that's a bit of a change. It's not perfect, but we're now 0.4 degrees. So next, where are we? We would like to put a maneuver. Well, Minmus, that's the Mun. Right, Minmus is going to be traveling around at one interesting speed, isn't it? So we're quite close there, if you actually look. So maybe we want to just move that forward a bit. If we move it forward in our orbit, what happens? Oh, a bit more maybe. Nope. Do that. We have an interaction. We're having if we don't do it, if we don't actually hit the orbit, we've got a problem. Right, so let's just fine tune that a little bit. Perhaps 118. I want to go in a bit more. 115, 14, 11. I want to make sure we definitely get near it, because we definitely want in that sphere of influence. We don't really worry about too much about the fuel we're using. 1, yeah, we go. That's perfect. Get to the prograde position. Go to here we are. We're using up electricity like crazy trying to get to there. So we're just gonna. Our burn is going to be about a minute, so it's going to have 30 seconds before we're going to start it. We've got a 2-minute burn. Although it's the node's in 2 minutes. The burn is 1 minute. I was correct. So we're just going to position ourselves as best we can onto our node, onto our maneuver node, blue cross there, and we're just going to burn for it when we get within range, and hopefully this is not going to be too bad. Right. So we're on the node. We do a little. You know what? Let's do a little timey-wimey. Oof! It's going to give us 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2. Okay, so we're gonna actually just do this manually. Speed it up a bit. So it's just holding us in position here. We're not going to float around too much. We're going to wait until about 30 seconds out. We'll be in the dark at the moment, and then we're going to fire it off. There we go. Off we go. So we're just burning for Minmus. This will take us about a minute of burn time. I'm not going to speed you up this bit. You've had enough speed up already. So when we get to Minmus, Minmus is a lot smaller than the Mun. It has much weaker gravity. That means it's easier to land on. It's easier to capture around. It's also easier to miss. So we could miss it if we're not perfect on this. You could use RCS for stuff like this. Even just rotating the ships in old versions of Kerbal used to take you out of orbit of these things. So we're actually going to have a look on the map. You can see we're coming up. We've done half our delta V already, and we've hardly made a change here. We're going to see in a minute we're going to pass behind the moon, or Mun, and you'll see that there's very little extra delta V to get us to Minmus. We are going to win back a lot of delta V in our landing. Landing on Minmus is a lot easier. So he's going to slow down right now. Slow down. We're just going to, let's have a look. What's our encounter? Our encounter is a little bit. So he's going to, our encounter is now tiny. Tiny. Okay. So we're there. Perhaps 22. So we're going to come in nicey. So, are we ready? We're nowhere near the sun at the moment, so as soon as we get out of the shadow of this planet, the better. So let us just accelerate out. Right, we're on our way. I'm going to speed you up this bit while we get to Minmus' sphere of influence. Right, we have just entered Minmus' sphere of influence. You can see the map view has changed, so now we are looking at Minmus. We're going to take a while to get there, 2 hours. While we're actually here, though, we're going to do a little bit of science. So, we are not positioned in the great place ever for the solar panels or for the science, but let's do it. So, observe mystery goo. Keep experiment. Log pressure data, keep experiment, and log temperature, keep experiment, and then we're going to go cheaty. We're going to go, oh, actually, before we do anything, take a crew report, keep it, then we're going to do EVA. Now, Jeb, this is not at all a scary position to be in, is it? No. You're fine. You're fine, Jeb. This is fine. It's fine. You're scared a little bit there, weren't you? Alright. We're going to just collect some data. Remove it from the module. Yeah, remove it. We're also going to take the data from there, take the data from there, and take the data from there, and we're going to store them all back in here. Then we're going to board. We're going to be blinded by the sun again. That's nice. We can see Kerbin. We can see the moon, Minmus, which is a moon. Interesting. Isn't that nice? Terrible shot of a long rocket there. Right. Let's go a bit further. In fact, we can do it from here. We can actually just wait around a bit until we get closer. It's a terrible view, isn't it? Look at that. So that's our center of mass at the moment. The camera is fixed at the center of mass. We're just going to zoom in. And we're getting very close to Minmus now. How lovely. Oh, that's a much nicer picture, isn't it? Alright, we're going to keep going. So we've got to keep our mind on this because we're going to accelerate. Even though the gravity is lower, we're going to accelerate as we get closer. You can see our orbital speed is increasing. We're getting closer to the planet, the moon. Right. I don't know how low you have to be in low orbit. We'll figure that out in a minute. Alright. Would it be under 50? Let's pause it and find out. Right, are we in high? We're still high. Okay. Maybe 25. Right. Maybe under 30. What about under 30? There we go. We got a change. So, crew report. Near. Okay. So we're going to actually do a observe mystery go. We're going to do a do one of these as well. Log temperature. And we're going to do a pressure. And let's have a look. Inspect near miss. So these are only near Minmus. So they are not biome specific. So we can actually wait until we land to deal with those. Okay. Now, next point. We are going to want to, we're going to let the craft spin round out. Let's get the old battery thing up so I can actually see what's going on. We're going to want to actually try and get into some sort of orbit, I think. And I think we're going to go, yeah, we're just going to wait until we're at periaps and we're going to circularize. So we've asked Jeb to put it into retrograde. We could do this ourselves. Put it into retrograde, and then, you know what, when we get near there, which is in 50 seconds, we could actually do it now. Just put the engines on a little bit, and you will notice that, so we've got 1,600 delta V at the moment. We're turning in. It might take 200, might take 300, if that. Minmus, very small, remember. Doesn't take much energy just to escape, which means that if you're actually on an intercept like this, it doesn't take much energy to then get into orbit. So we're just going to bring it down, like so. And we just copy it there. So we are on an interesting little orbit, aren't we? So we ideally want to land somewhere near the equator. Minmus is messy though. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a few little orbits. I'm actually going to accelerate to this periaps and get us lower. I don't want to do it at this point here because we'll end up with a very odd orbit. But I'd like to get lower so we can actually sort this orbit out a bit, and then we can actually maybe watch and look for a nice landing site, and then we'll go in for landing. We've got an awful lot of fuel left, so we're probably going to do the landing with the main engines and then drop them. There we go. And pull that down. So there we go. We're just going down to a bit more, please. I think 20 is a nice number to be in orbit at. There we go. Right. So now we've got to decide, where do we want to land? We want to land on the light side, I'm guessing. So let's have a look. I'm just going to spin around and have a few looks. You know what, I might just go, are we going to be... I would like to land somewhere flat. I think we're going to actually go for a landing pretty quickly. In fact, I think we're going to go for a landing very, very quickly. And I think we're going to go for it this term round. So we're going to let the craft relocate itself. I'm going to aim to bring it down about here. Yeah, right in this middle of this big sort of flat area, lake bed. We're going to do that. Do we want to use a science? See, this is where the debate's going to come. Which science do we really want the most when it comes to mystery goo? We can probably send another crew down here, and it's actually one of those ones that is worth doing, particularly for blooding young pilots. So we're just doing that. we're just going to bring that down. And we're actually going to just do it like that. There we go. Now hopefully it's a lot of map view today, isn't it? We are going to be just above. There we go. All right, let's get out of map view. I want to land there. So let's get the engine going. I'm actually going to let us drift a lot down because we can lose that. We don't want sea level, we actually want real life level. We're coming down. We can lose that speed very quickly with this engine. So when we get to about 10, then we'll maybe think about it. In fact, you know, I'm going to do it early because I don't want to slide too far up. Switch to surface. And there we go. We're going to speed along again. See, Minmus is very odd sort of environment, isn't it? It's like a giant sort of snow cone gone wrong. It's small, it's low gravity, it's very odd. Now we could drop our stage at the moment, but we've got fuel, you know. We've got all of this fuel still going. In fact, it says we've got basically a fuel tank, a full fuel tank, which is crazy. We've barely used any according to this. If I didn't know better, I'd say infinite fuel was on. It isn't, because it's gone down. I'm guessing the fuel is... Oh. I'm guessing the fuel is incorrect. Yeah. That looks like a fuel symbol warning error thing. So how much have I got? Okay, I don't have as much as I thought I did. Okay. So... that is interesting. Why is it reading full? There's a little glitch. Oh, no, it's jumped correctly. Now, why was it doing that? Very odd. Anybody know the reason for that? Brilliant. If not, it's a new bug. Right, 2,000. I think around 1,000 we will probably, you know what we should do while I'm thinking? We should actually deploy the landing legs, you know, just for when we do need them. So we're just going to, this is a lot after doing them on. I should have probably done this one first. Right. So, and I'm actually wondering, do I want to, can I rotate? Oh, actually I want to go like that. That's how I want to be orientated, yeah. Alright, we're going to kill off most of our speed now. And then when we get to almost zero, I'm going to actually decouple. There we go. Just to give ourselves a bit of chance to separate out from that stage. So we're now burning just a little bit of fuel, just to give ourselves a bit of distance. Isn't this nice? Jeb, how are we enjoying this? Is this good for you? It's good? Do you like it? You seem happy. Yay. Now normally, of course, if you drop a stage, it will explode. There's a lot of fuel in that. It's right underneath us. Let's see what happens on Minmus. Sometimes they explode, sometimes they bounce. Let's find out. It's almost there. We're, oh, here we go. It's going to hit. It's exploded. Very nice. Right, and this is the easy bit. Because, oh, we're actually going to... Oh, we're not going to land on it. That's all right. So now we're just basically... Oh, got a bit of Z fighting going on there. There we go. Ooh, Z fighting horrible on Minmus. We'll just do that. It's better. All right. We are down. SAS off. We are down. All right. I'm going to do a bit of the science stuff, and then we will maybe go for a walk. Right, everybody, welcome back. So, after the little speedy-weedy movie science moment, we're stood on the outside of our capsule. We've still got a lot of Z fighting, don't like that. Need to have a look at the graphics settings for that. We're going to let go. Yep, Jeb's just gonna slowly... Seriously, Jeb? Seriously? Just face first? Really? Right. So, can we EVA report it? The Great Flats. We'll keep that. We probably should place a flag, but I'm not sure that it'd be a good idea to do it here. Let's go... You know what? It's too tempting, isn't it? Let's put it over... Whoa, Jeb, you are slow on Minmus. We're going to put it over here. Put it behind this, yeah. The sacred booster casing that survived. That was technically the first thing we put on Minmus. Brilliant. Right, I'm going to plant a flag. Oh dear, that's now rolling towards our spacecraft. That was going to be a funny joke. So, Minmus. First, Kerbin. Jeb. There. First, Kerbin on Minmus. There we go. Okay, good, wonderful. Let's go. Right, can we go now? Jeb, where you going? Where you going, Jeb? Right, we could run over there or there, but this is taking forever. So I think what I will do is I will get back in the ship. Alright, let's try this again. It's been a while. Grab, thank you. So, where are we? We're pretty much on the equator. And I think it's time for us to go home. So, nice and easy. We've got our flag there. We've got some science. I don't know how much we're going to get. Remember, we still need to take some science from landed on Minmus, so we're going to have to send another craft here. SAS on. Take off. And we're just going to turn right straight away. And we're up as far as I need to really worry. And I'm going the wrong way. Oh, well, that's going to make the whole thing much more interesting, isn't it? So, let's put us on the prograde. We're going to go in the opposite way around the planet, which is not the most efficient way of doing things, but then we don't really do things. Oh, we've got a milestone. What's that? What's the milestone? Initiate a fly past a Minmus, orbit of Minmus, suborbital Minmus, land on the surface of Minmus, walk on the surface of Minmus. Oh, good. So we're going to get these milestones, obviously, wherever we go. That's really nice. Right, let's warp up to here. So we need to get into orbit, then we're going to do a little burn, get ourselves sorted, and be just very happy. So this should be just an easy sort of return back. I'm going to get to this point up here, and then we will circularize, and then we'll talk about getting back to Kerbin. So let's speed you up. Right, welcome back. So, while we fast forward towards our node, what you'll see there is because I'm actually going around the moon in the wrong direction, we're actually burning behind the moon, against the direction of travel of the moon, to go out of its orbit. And what it gives us is this basically where we can continue burning when we're at very low altitude on this moon. And it can actually take us down really low to Kerbin. So I've got a 33 kilometer periaps, and it's only costing us 170, which is stunning. So we can just start our burn now. If we actually have a look, you can see it's gone down already that far, so we can actually just take our time now. Take our time and just get it to exactly where we want it to be. So I'm actually going to knock that off, so we can keep an eye on this. And we're just going to take it down to about, 50. Maybe not 43, but that'll do. we could actually turn around and just give ourselves a little nudge. You know, it's not really a big, massive nudge. So we can just keep doing this. You know, we can keep doing this over and over and over again until we get the right sort of level, because there we go, perfect. Because we've got so much fuel left. Yeah, we've got 1,700 delta V left. This craft could go to Juna. It might not be able to get back from Juna. In fact, it wouldn't, but it could, which starts to raise the question: when do we go to Juna? Right. Before that, though, we're just going to accelerate out of here. Actually, one thing we didn't check. Are we over the limit now? Oh, we've just gone past it. I don't know whether we actually did an EVA, and I'll have to go back and check the video, an EVA in low space. Now, that would annoy me, but again, we're going to come back to Minmus. If we can get Nakot could probably do this as well. I'd also like to get a 2 or 3 man pod, because I like to bring some scientists. There is a lot of science to be had on Minmus. We should probably try and send a rover if we can build one. The same with the Mun. It's easy to do. It's easy science. I'm looking forward to seeing how much science we get at the end of this. Right, we're just going to probably speed you up now, and I'll meet you at re-entry or landing. Welcome back. So we've done our little speedy up bit. We've come back into the sphere of influence of Kerbin. We're now coming through the atmosphere of Kerbin. We're just hitting the outer atmosphere. We have a lot of fuel left. I could detach this. I could activate this. I don't want to deploy it just yet, but we're going to pin it over here. What I am going to do is put the engines on and slow us down a bit. We've got a lot of fuel there, and you know what? Why waste it? Why let it just burn up when we can slow ourselves down nice and high up in the atmosphere? I'm still not sure about the heat shield situation on these things, so it's not a loss, is it? Look at that, look at that. So we've got 1,300 left. We're going to be down to such a low speed because we've got the air resistance, the heating and everything going on here. It's going to combine. We're going to get such good slowdown for this. Still I'm confused by the liquid fuel meter earlier. That would be nice to know about. So coming down, we're going to speed this up a little bit because we can. Let's live dangerously. Right, we're now on in a suborbital route or path. We're coming down no matter what. Fuel's gone. So with that, I would love to save that, but I cannot risk it because of previous valve situations. Right, turn that off because we don't need that anymore. This is probably going to crash down near us. It'd be nice to know it did. And then let's speed you up all the way down. And we need to think about deploying a parachute at some point. We're going to come down in the water, hopefully. Oh, we've got a bit of reheating again. So this is our second round of heating. So we had one round of heating. We basically used the engines to cool down a bit. Now we're in the actual heaty zone. And there we go. So when we get to sort of subsonic speeds, then we'll think about maybe doing the parachute thing. Right, let's deploy that. And hurry our way down to the water. Those are both the same, are they? Yes, because we're above water. So we just speed all the way down, maximum speed, and it's going to take a while. So let's speedy on down. And here we are, Jebediah Kerman coming in. First Kerbal, first Kerman to Minmus. Mission complete unless something goes horribly wrong right now. There we go. Right, we're going to recover vessel. We collected 400 science from that. Superb. Right, with that, See you next time.